Okay. Would you join me in the flag salute, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, good morning. Welcome to the Bourbon County Commission meeting, October 4th, 2022, in the great county of Bourbon, great city of Fort Scott. Welcome everyone here today, of course. Makes me nervous when county attorney's in the crowd, of course, but when she's not on the agenda.
She is on the agenda.
Pardon?
She is on the agenda.
Does that alleviate any
Hey,
concerns?
you're on the agenda. You wasn't yesterday. Okay. Approval of minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting and then also the special meeting that was held. Where was the date on that? What day would we come in here? 28th.
I second that. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Come in, Eric. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay.
Good.
Guess that's it, yeah. Enjoyed visiting your dad the other day.
Yeah. A couple permits. First one, the oversized permit. We got everything moved over the weekend,
Okay.
provided us with their insurance and everything, so we're ready to approve that.
We've already approved, we just gotta sign it,
Yeah,
right?
just gotta sign the final. You've already
Yeah.
approved it.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I
sign
thought,
the
yeah.
final. The bottom part, yeah.
Looks like I already, oh, the final, gotcha.
He didn't know what saying. I asked him if he was out of shell.
Yeah.
Kinda got him, didn't I?
I did know with that.
Has he?
Thank you. And then second, it's start of the month, culvert, new culverts, we decided to go monthly on that.
Okay,
All right, here's the one that I've already signed.
okay,
That's a copy for you, here's a copy for you, there's the one that we need to sign.
okay.
You guys so approve them, and that's the new ones and the, I believe the.
Hi, Clifton.
Then final.
Yeah, we just signed it. We don't, you need a motion? I don't think so.
There you go. That's just a copy of what you signed. That just shows you the new and the final for the, that's not all the culverts we've put in. We've replaced several crossroad
Yeah.
and entry tubes, but that's.
You guys got one work out on, for Griffin? You guys figured that out, what he
We
wanted?
have not, but I need to.
Okay,
And I say we have not, I need to check with my culvert
Okay.
crew. I turned it over to them and,
I don't know when he'll have to get a
Yeah.
combine in. He got
Yeah.
something different, so.
right.
That's between you and him, so.
Yep.
Thank-
Asphalt. We have about a half mile left to go on Grand, and then we got 1.8 miles to go on 195th. So
Good.
that's kind of where we're at.
Good.
We get that all completed, we'll be around the 10-mile range for the year for asphalt.
Good.
That's not lane miles, that's actual
Yeah.
road miles. So
How many?
10,
That's good. It's a good year.
yeah, especially with
Troubles you
prices.
had.
Yeah.
Prices and troubles. you had,
Troubles
yeah.
and what have you. So just kind of let you know there. I do want to say when we go to 195th, I want everyone to know that they are going to be inconvenienced getting to and from their house. There's just no way about it. The road's not wide enough to do two passes. We're going to have to do it in one pass, but we will work with everyone the best we can to get them to and from, and
Is that like Hackberry South, pretty much?
it's going to be from the Mile Road, yes,
Yeah,
south.
okay.
Yeah, and now when we get to the Mile Road going north, we can do that in two passes.
Yeah.
But that back stretch back there, it's not wide enough to do two passes
Yeah.
with the machine, so we will work with everyone the best we can. I want to be up front. I know it's going to be an inconvenience, but the finished product will be worth the inconvenience, so.
And they've been asking for many, many years, so I'm
Right.
sure they can be inconvenienced a little bit, we hope.
Right,
And
right.
that's an area, there's no big ditches, so they might be
Right.
able to sneak around you, maybe.
Yeah, there's a little bit of ravines in the back there, a couple
Yeah.
hills, but other than that, we should be able to get
Okay.
everybody by. I just ask that they do not drive on our new fresh asphalt until we get it rolled, and then we will work with everyone and try and get them to and from, so.
2 inches, have you decided, or what?
We're gonna go probably maybe 2.5.
Good.
So that way we get a compaction of,
Yeah.
and have a 2-inch overlay.
Good.
That's kinda
Make good road.
where we're looking at with that, so. Speaking of roads, the contractor notified us that they should be here next week, latter part of the week for the Onyx, the,
Good.
235th from Native to Soldier, and then 75th from Maple to US 54. It's a product that will go down, it's a preservative type for our roads to try and preserve existing asphalt that's been put on the road.
75th from Maple to 54. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's paid right now.
It's paid.
Okay.
So we're gonna put what they call Onyx, and it's a mastic, yeah, it's a preventative maintenance.
Okay.
It's
It's a polymer type.
right,
It's a different type of chip and seal kind of.
Okay.
yeah.
New application for your service.
I wanna see how that's going
Hope
to
it works.
work. Yeah,
Hope it's a good product. We got
Yeah.
miles we can use it on.
Right.
If it works, it'll save us a ton of money in the future.
Yeah.
And what I can tell so far, reading on it and listening to other people about it, is it's got some elasticity to it where it will move a little bit, so
Thank you.
that should help with ground movement, and especially as dry as we are, we know that, the pavement has moved, it's just no other way about it, it's pulled
Yeah.
apart, and it's gotta come back together when we do get the moisture, so.
Good.
Anyhow, that's next week, be about a total of 6 miles or so, I believe is what, if I remember off the top of my head, I don't have it right in front of me, but I think it's somewhere around 6 miles, so we'll see how that works, and should be a good cost savings.
Good.
How does that get put on?
The contractor will put it on with, and I'm not 100% sure, but it's my understanding they got a truck that comes in and puts it down. From
Sprayed almost.
Yeah, and it has small granulars in it for your surface.
So it's just one spray application?
I
Set everything.
think, I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know
say it.
yet. Yeah.
Not gonna know till they get here and we try it. That's my understanding from what I've watched.
Will you video just a little bit of it, or?
Yeah. We may try and put the
Yeah.
drone up and actually get some aerial footage of it,
Maybe
so.
I'd like to
Do
see
you know
the
where
application.
they're going to start at?
I don't know for sure. Probably, if I'm guessing, 235th, probably around Native, but that's only a guess until they get here and
If
look
I
everything.
can, I'd like to see them do it on 75th Street since it's just right down the
Yeah.
road from me.
Absolutely. I will let you know when
Okay.
we know kind of a plan and a schedule. And again, they say they're gonna be here next week. There's no guarantees that,
And it's too bad you couldn't add that mile between Bridgefield and 54 Highway.
we looked at that, and we've gotta go in and do
Do
some,
too much prep work.
we gotta do some repairs on there
That's
and,
long overdue, yeah.
yeah, so that one needs a little
Okay.
bit. But we did look at that, so.
Good.
Gives you an update on that. Crusher update, service tech's here today, getting the crusher back up and running, hope to be crushing by this afternoon. We are in dire need of 1/4-inch chips, so we will be running 10, 11-hour days
Yeah.
this week for 3 days, and then an 8-hour day Friday, so we need our 1/4-inch chips so we can continue on with our asphalt program, so.
And thank you. It sounded like you did great negotiations out
Yep,
there.
so.
What all do they
worked out
decide to
real
do
well.
to it?
They're gonna repair all the rollers, the roller bar. And for those that don't know, we had a bearing go out, through all that, got super hot, had a small fire, got the fire put out. But anyhow, contractor or the service tech is here to put everything back together, and they're gonna pay for service or the labor and parts and get
Are they-
everything back together.
Are they concerned at all with the integrity of the framing? Comes up that conveyor?
One was not, or the individual that looked at it was not, but we have documented it very well.
Okay.
We have taken timestamp pictures, so
Good. Time will tell.
time will tell.
Yeah.
Time
They,
will
they
tell.
weren't interested in replacing that then?
Not at this time, no.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I don't know what we can discuss, can't discuss. I don't know if Justin needs to, I mean, I don't know, so.
I'd say we can't discuss anymore unless we go into executive session. can if you want.
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
I'm good with what you told me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Worked out real well.
Okay. Moving on, Bridge 518 did get the report back from KDOT.
That's the big one,
That's the one, yeah, that,
over the railroad.
over the railroad on 215, there at Valley. There's,
Thank you.
reports on that. It looks like it was rated at a 3 this time, so we have put in for a grant for this, so we'll see how that,
You're still holding your FEMA money for this match?
absolutely.
Good, good.
Absolutely. So, quite a bit of reading in there. Not a whole lot has changed. Fracture critical bridge, it'll need to be inspected in 2 years. There's pictures that show everything that's going on with the bridge. So,
Be a big project.
it will be a big project.
So who, do they fund this project or how does that work?
We have to pay to have our bridges inspected. And this one here, since it's a fracture critical bridge, they say it has to be inspected every 2 years.
Okay, so right now there's not a whole bunch of repairs that we have to fund or,
There's a whole bunch of repairs that will need to be made at some point, but we've put in for a grant to get the bridge replaced due to the condition
Okay.
of the bridge. And I want to say the bridge was 1936, is that what? And this was given to the county from KDOT. So,
They should have never accepted it back then.
It's amazing, the condition, those girders and stuff.
right,
The rust.
I don't
and
even
stuff.
see the picture yet of where it's actually split.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get that one.
so,
That's nice of them. Where the I-beam's actually torn. That picture ain't in there.
Really, that's scary,
So
isn't it?
my question is they willing to take the liability?
they are the ones that done the inspects.
That answer is no. The state ain't gonna take any
Are they
liability.
good without me reading it, remain open until the
There
repair?
says nothing in here about
Didn't say anything
closing.
for closing it?
No.
Okay,
Not that I could find, and I've read through this 3 times now, so,
okay.
I mean, they're the ones that inspected it, so I would say they'd.
You trust engineers?
okay.
Thank you, Eric.
I'd
Yeah.
take you out there, show you. Because I live
Yeah, I can show it.
200 yards from
I
it.
can show it to
You
you.
wanna see some splits and I-beams that shouldn't be there? Those pictures aren't in there. Pathetic. Whatever.
So, hopefully the grant will come through and
Yep.
we'll be a lucky recipient of that and move forward with that. 95th, Poplar North ditching is complete. Pulled the ditches out on the road, built the road up, put crossroad, renewed the crossroad tubes, put entry and tubes in, renewed them. So we're in the process of putting gravel on it as we speak right now. So
Good.
that project will be a good one to be
A long
completed.
time needed it.
Yep, so
A lot of water come down that hill.
there is a lot of water. And that whole general area, and that
Yeah.
whole basin out there, there's
Yeah.
a lot of water. So,
Yep.
anyhow, that's pretty much all I have. Anything for me?
I don't have anything.
You had asked me to make a couple phone calls last week, and I've made those phone
Good.
calls and visited with everyone.
Thank
So
you.
that's been taken care of.
Good. The
So,
reports show all right on that one fellow we've talked about? Yeah.
they showed, so,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
We'll talk sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have anything.
Good, all right.
I do have one question.
Yeah,
Will your FEMA money be enough for the match, do you think, or do you know yet?
we won't know,
Do
but
we?
we also put in to do away with some bridges that was on the list.
That'll give you more money.
So there
Okay.
was a possibility that we may have minimal
Good.
to match.
Yeah,
We'll
they
just
like-
have to see
They
how
like
it comes
trading
back.
them out. Okay,
Yeah,
good, thank you.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
yep. And I do want to say that Bourbon County Ready worked very well with us, and they're actually the ones that helped do the grant and/or the majority of the grant writing, so they done very well, so. We'll see.
Rob finally went to work.
There you go. And Emily. Emily done a lot of it too,
So
so.
careful, he ain't here to
I
defend
know,
himself.
that's why I said it. I didn't, I knew he wasn't, I knew he's out of town. That's all right. I owe him after sitting next to him Friday at the football game.
Oh, man.
Man, anyway.
He likes to yell at things.
All right, moving right along. Delvin Mumbar, we're gonna just call him or?
I don't.
Fire department's Dylan.
Hey, Dallin, it's Clifton at the commission meeting. You're up for the burn ban update. I assume there's no
Yeah.
change.
Right, Clifton, yeah, we would like to continue it, so.
Sure. Since you're on the phone, I'm not, until it rains, I'm not sure we need to call him every week. Would you agree with
Right,
that,
well,
Dylan?
yeah, and that's entirely up to you guys, but, yeah, I mean, until we do get some significant rain, things really aren't gonna improve, so.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. How about you callers or come see us when you want to change it?
Well, I can sure do that, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you,
You
thank
bet,
you.
thank
See
you.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay.
I mean, it's not gonna get any wetter anytime
Yeah.
soon, so
Miss Laura
even if it
Holdridge.
does rain, it's still gonna be.
Morning, Laura.
Good morning.
Southeast Kansas Regional County Official Meeting. That was a good meeting.
Yes, and that's why I'm here. As several people were leaving on Thursday, and a few people that are retiring this year, they said that Bourbon County set the bar extremely high. We had some that's been in office 25, 30 years that are retiring this year. They said that it's the best meeting they've ever been to, that now they've got their work cut out for them, that we outdid ourselves, that now they're gonna have to work a little bit harder to do their meetings a little bit better because they thought it was awesome. They thought the food was great. They enjoyed the orchestra playing, and they thought our door prizes were awesome. Got a few emails this week saying that some of them came back this weekend because they got some door prizes, and they came back this weekend to spend their door prizes. And so I would like to just take a minute, since we are on YouTube, and go through our sponsor list, if that's okay, just to thank our sponsors. Angie Dawn's Boutique, Bids and Dibs, Bourbon County Cars, CIC, Fort Scott Tourism, Coastal Energy, Common Grounds, Cortland Hotel and Day Spa, Crooners Lounge, Dawn Spirits and Wines, E3 Meats Company, Flowers by Leanna, Foley Equipment, Fort Scott Chamber, Fort Scott Munitions, Goldbirds Group, Gordon Parks Museum, Hedgehog Inc., HPA, Iron Star, Kayla's Creations by Kayla Simheiser, Liberty Theater, Lowell Milton Center, Main Street Vintage and Co., Murphy's Tractor, Pizza Republic, Redbud's Farm and Nursery, RTS, Ruddix, SAM, Swab Eaton, Security First Title, Seacan Occasion Shops, Sunshine Boutique, Tim Heiser CPA, PA, Treasure Hunt Flea Market, Tri-State Trucks, Van Keppel Equipment, Wellburn Sales, Woodland Hills Golf Course, and Fort Scott Gun and Pawn. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. But again, and I'd like to thank all of our county employees that put in baskets, Susan and Shane, and myself and a lot of all the department heads, we worked really hard. Jim, you know, you got Murphy's Tractor and them to sponsor our lunch. Everybody loved the meeting place, and they loved Luther's Barbecue. So
Good.
again, we couldn't have done it without
Yeah.
group effort, and
Yeah.
now we've got 9 more years before it comes around again. So,
Excuse me if I don't make the next one, okay? 9 more
well,
years.
there may be a lot of us that don't make the next one, but we did set the bar pretty high for the rest one. There was nobody there from Chautauqua, so it is in Chautauqua the next time. So I'm assuming that Ashley will get some sort of notification for springtime that will be invited to for Chautauqua. So
Good.
that'll be where it's at next.
Well, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I wanted to echo what you mentioned, Laura, Shane, and Susan, department heads, other elected officials. Y'all did a great job, so it was a fun time. That's
It-
unusual. I've been to a lot of those meetings too, and we did set the bar. So-
We did,
So
yeah.
thank you all.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
Okay. Mr. Commissioner Clifton Beth, SCK Agency.
Yeah, so this is just a board opening they have. And I don't know why we wouldn't agree to Mrs. Leach being on their board opening. But somebody asked, what do they actually do? And so let me open it up and I'll tell you. How much, do you know, Susan, off the top of your head, how much money we give them?
40-some thousand.
45,
Because
I believe.
she sent me a text this morning
Yeah,
and,
like 46 something, I think.
Could have been 46.
and she thought it was going, is it running through the, anyway, it only shows like, it's like 20,000.
They get an appropriation every quarter, I think. They get, so they actually get so much per month for Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
And then they get a small, like, one-time amount, and then I think they get like a quarterly too. So they're just split up like 3 different ways. And if they need to get it any other way, we are open to doing that. That's just how it was done when I started accounts payable, and we just continue to do it the same way.
Okay, because, all right, good enough.
Appropriations to the elderly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 48,600.
Much more than I even thought, yeah.
So anyway, here's what they do for Bourbon County. And these are gonna be units. I'm not really sure what units count for, maybe hours, or they could be 30-minute intervals. I don't know, but assessments, they did 100. This was October 1 of 2020 to September 30 of 21. So, year and a half or 2 years ago. Attendant care, 404. Case management customers, 37. Homemaker, 1,171. Those would have been hours. Lifelines, 32. So that's 32 phone calls for, whatever the elderly might need. Respite care, 143. Assistance, 30. Attendant care, 245. Lifelines, and goes back over, I assume, the second half of the year. Homemaker, 16. Respite, 114. Support groups, 16. Congregate meals, 629. Home delivered meals, 12,812. Disaster home delivered meals, 4,128. Then we go back to the assessments, attendant care, and their numbers are pretty similar, a little higher actually for the next time around. Anyway, for a total of $182,953 spent in Bourbon County.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So that's what they do.
Yeah, a lot of meals.
So she did ask me a question that I didn't have an answer to, and I guess I told her I would ask it in the meeting. Does anybody know where our senior center actually is in this county?
Yes.
A few people do. I didn't.
I don't
And you know where?
Down on the corner.
Okay, you're right.
Main Street.
know. Yeah.
Correct. It's not marked very well.
I agree.
She is new to this position and walked by it 3 times before she actually found it. And I don't know who runs it. I don't know how that's funded.
Deb Needleman's always been the spokesperson that comes to the
Mhm.
commission, so.
So if we could help maybe get that noticed a little better,
Yep.
it might be good.
I can reach out to her.
If they need some, I don't know what we can do for it, but anyway, they do a lot. So we're getting quite a bit for our 48,000. So
Yes, we are.
almost 4 times, return, so.
Is it something that we could put on our website to kind of help support them too, maybe their location?
I don't know why we couldn't, but I think, they're, I think they feel they don't, the word doesn't get out enough. And I think that's a fair statement, I don't work in hospice anymore, but working in hospice for 8 years, those types of services, not just them, and not just the senior center, those types of services are not well-known in the community. So they don't, I don't know whose fault that is, I don't want to put any blame on anybody, but they're just not. And there's a lot of resources. I mean, she talked about how they've replaced windows for the elderly. They get money for that. They, people that, if they needed a small air conditioner, things like that, they do all of that stuff. So, but anyway, regardless, $182,000 they spent in Bourbon County from 20 to 21 in a year's time, or that year. So it's a pretty good deal. They are still delivering meals. They were not part of the deal though where it was canceled that she didn't think last year where the delivery was canceled. But anyway, that's that. I think from our standpoint, we just have to say that yeah, we don't mind this lady being on their board.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, good enough.
Okay, Ms. Ashley Shelton.
Mike Williams got back to me. He has prices from Blue Mark for the courthouse and the law enforcement center. He was still waiting on Clearwater for the medical center. I said I'd check my email before the meeting was over. He was hoping to have something. For a 12-month lock-in price for the courthouse and the law enforcement center, it would be $7.44 plus transport and fuel. And 24-month would be $6.96 plus transport and fuel.
Is that a bargain? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what they're gonna do?
The other bill, I can look and see what he gets on the other.
Yeah, I think we ought to look at a comparison to see if it's a deal or not. Maybe,
how long
I don't
is this
know.
gonna be open?
I'm sure it's a deal or
He said they
hopefully
change
a big
daily,
deal.
but I mean, we can lock in, we can choose to lock in at any time.
Yeah, we just don't know which way it's gonna go. That's the issue.
I bet it's not going down. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
What do you think, Luke? Do you have any idea?
I mean, I don't know much about natural gas. I mean, I buy propane, so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't have anything, I don't follow natural gas prices.
Can you-
Well, it's getting winter time, the more than likely it's gonna go up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's, if we have if you could tell me we're gonna have a bad winter, it's gonna go up across the country. If we don't, it won't.
Yeah, we probably should lock it in then.
For how long? 24-month or the?
12 or 24-month option.
24-month was cheaper at $6 something.
$6.96. 12 months is $7.44.
I
It's
don't
a
have a
gamble.
problem. Yeah, but at least we'd be locked in and it's not going to.
Do we know how much we used? Do we know what it was last year, the price of it was last year? Do we know that?
Okay.
Just curious.
Okay, I guess we're gonna table until you give us the rest of the information.
And
Okay.
then hopefully I'll
Yeah.
have something on the medical building too.
Okay, is that all right with you guys? All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. McElroy, Ms. McElroy, County Attorney, please.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I am requesting an executive session to discuss non-elected personnel. I think maybe about 10 minutes, and I'd request that Justin and Susan also join the executive session.
Okay.
Make a motion for executive session, KSA 75-4319B1, to discuss personal matters of individual non-elected personnel to protect their privacy related to job performance, job duties.
Duties.
Which room are we going back here or no?
Use my office.
Be for 10 minutes. We'll return here at 9:41. 3 commissioners, Tiana McElroy, Justin Meeks, and Susan Bancroft.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to resume normal session 9:41 in this room, no action.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Justin Meeks.
Commissioners, I asked that you amend the agenda to put me at the end. I've got a minimum 10-minute executive session, and I don't want to take people that are in the
Okay.
gallery's time.
Make a motion to move Justin Meeks County Councilor comment to the end of the meeting today.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Miss Susan Bancroft. Chief Financial Officer comments.
I just want to take a little bit of time today to go through what I think would help with some transparency at the county level. First of all, when we do appropriations and payroll, we generally just bring it to a meeting. You guys sign it. We don't really talk about it much. There are other communities that actually put an appropriations line on their agenda and have those for if a community member wanted to see what is being paid out. So that is just an option that I thought I would run by you if you would like to start doing that. The report that I have found is 12 pages long, a little bit easier to read. And then I've also found a report for wages where it basically pulls it down by department and shows your gross salary and benefits that are paid out by the month. And the state law, cash basis law, basically puts the governing body in charge of you approving all claims. And I've got the statutes in front of me that kind of talk about cash basis law, that you cannot spend more than what you have in the bank, essentially, is how that's put. There are a few exemptions to that law. If it's payroll, you do not have to approve it ahead of time. It can be approved afterwards. So basically, once you set the budget, you've said, hey, this is what we're going to do. Any kind of utilities that you're paying, like your gas, electric, whatever, those can all be paid ahead of time. You don't have to approve them. But then there's also the law that Justin and I kind of go back and forth on, we like to banter on, is every other expenditure. And so, I think it's good practice for you all to see those as they're being paid. But the law actually allows for a few exemptions where you can pay them ahead of time and then approve afterwards. So just something to consider. I do have some reports. I'll pass it around so you can kind of see. I just took the month of September so that you can kind of see what a report would look like. On the payroll one, though, I would recommend, if we do it, is it shows your gross salary and benefits, and then I think there should be a section here for overtime so that you can stay on top of overtime as well. I think they already provide that in your stuff. So there's just some examples.
So your suggestion would be this information would be included
In
when
the
it goes
agenda.
out on the agenda.
Yes.
The line item or everything on there. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So, kind of what we were talking about the other day, like things that we sign, I'm a little leery of people handing me stuff that's this thick and then asking me to sign it.
And you don't have time to review it.
I don't have time to review it. And then even if I did review it, I wouldn't be able to identify any problems in it per se. So if we could get that as early as possible emailed to us, that'd be better.
So she usually has them done by Friday by the agenda time.
So we have, usually she emails it to Jim,
Mhm.
just because he's
Okay.
the chairman, and I have to approve it, and then he approves it, and then it goes ahead and goes to the bank.
Okay.
We still send it for everyone else to approve it, but
Yeah.
sometimes she does, it depends on if there's any problems, any new hires, people
Yeah.
leaving, as to getting that done. But I can have her email it to
Yeah.
all the commissioners, that's no
Yeah.
problem.
Just as long as I get it
And she
emailed
sends it
before
to
I
Susan
sign it,
also.
is all.
Well,
Yeah.
but
And
So
not
what
just
it-
payroll, but
what's that
anything
going
really.
to do, though? You email it to all of us and it's approved at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Other people aren't gonna get paid.
Well, no. Payroll can go out. Payroll's an exemption to the law.
Okay.
But all other payables really should be approved before they're sent out, unless it's like a gas bill, a utility bill, any of those.
I mean, we have all of that is approved. I look at it first, and then it's approved by commissioner. And
One
she sends it
commissioner,
to you.
though.
One commissioner, yeah.
Right.
One-
So it
I mean, I
really
can
should
send
be,
it to all of them, Courtney can send it to all of them instead of just one, but I mean, we don't pay anything until it's approved by me and at least one commissioner, and then we have everyone else.
so here's what it says. Allowance of claims monthly. It shall be the duty of said Board of County Commissioners to allow all monthly at the meetings of the Board of County Commissioners any and all claims against the county as provided by law, including claims for salaries of all county officers. Now, there is an exemption in the law for payroll. I have to go back and find it.
The only delay would be on the accounts payable would be that they wouldn't be approved till the next meeting.
Correct. So like if she was doing AP this week, it would be approved at the next Tuesday meeting, and then it could be released to the bank.
And all that information
So
will go out
those
to
checks
general.
wouldn't go out until it was approved.
Right.
But our vendors are expecting them on Friday. We have people that pick up checks on Friday with payroll, like if an employee's getting a reimbursement check or something like that.
If it's a
it goes
reim-
through AP.
Okay, there are certain things that can go out ahead of time. So a reimbursement to an employee,
So we're gonna have to sort all that out instead of just putting it.
yeah.
I certainly don't have a problem with the public seeing what we're doing. I mean, transparency is the answer, I think, but
Yeah,
as long as we don't create a lot of problems paying our bills,
sure.
so.
I guess, I mean, if it's possible, just like the accounts payable and everything, it's a lot of stuff, you know?
Right.
And then I don't have time to really look at it. I mean, I just sign it real quick and I'm like, well, I don't know what exactly all,
Well, we
what I
want
just
you to
signed.
look at
Well,
it.
I know, but it's kind of short notice, I guess. If it could be
And I
emailed
can have her
quicker,
email it as soon as she's
then,
ready.
yeah, then I could look at it at home and stuff. And then if I had questions, maybe call somebody like, oh, I wonder what that's about. And then call about that and then call about that. And then by the time it's time to sign it, I'd be more comfortable.
And so the law also says the commissioners. This is what you're to examine and settle all accounts of the receipts and expenses of the county, and to examine and settle all accounts of chargeable against the county. And when so settled, they may issue county orders therefore as provided by law.
Yeah.
So basically, you are the ones that are approving the payables.
Yeah. So for examining it, I need to have it before.
Yes.
I need to have time to examine it, I guess.
Well, hand you this here in a second. I mean, this is everything.
Huh?
This is everything. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Never seen this before.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I don't know what the other,
But interestingly enough, since we talked about SEK deal, there is a deal on here for Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
It's paid
for-
monthly.
That's 3,800, but if we're then paying through the city another 1,900, we're well over the 48,600.
Paying through the city. What do you mean?
I mean,
I don't know how their appropriations are set up, so I'd have
We
to
just pay
go
it
back and look.
directly to them. We don't pay anything to the city.
okay. Good enough. So
the last
she
time I
was
checked,
expecting-
Yeah.
the city doesn't contribute.
They don't. I agree. They don't.
So
So-
if I send it out, if Courtney sends it out when she gets it ready, instead of just sending it to Jim, she sends it to everyone, and they approve it, could we not still pay it on Friday, so it's still paid, all the vendors are,
That's a Justin
I mean,
question because the law.
I mean, it would still put it in,
Yeah, I like the idea of having it on the agenda, but
you can have it on the agenda and it gets signed. I mean, at that point, you'll have it signed every week, if that's what your question was.
She's saying that they do it the Friday before the agenda, and so
everything's paid this Friday, we're not gonna have another meeting until Tuesday. We aren't, I
Right.
mean, we have payroll ready, we don't have payables ready, so all of our vendors are expecting a check on Friday.
Sure. I think one of the things I've always found fascinating is that checks aren't cut weekly. I mean, there's some things that have, in the past, where we've actually had bills that were late because we didn't cut checks weekly. So
And And we actually, so we pay every other week, but Courtney's really good if there's something that's gonna be late.
Sure.
She does special checks a lot of times
Right.
to make sure that those are paid.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that there's a way that maybe administratively, we could figure out a way to pay checks weekly too. I mean, it's just, it's an administrative thing. It's not really a legal thing. I mean, no bills should be late.
Doing accounts payable every week is really not a big issue. The only thing is, it makes it hard because you have one person that processes
Sure.
that they're never gonna be able to take off because they have to be here to process that. We're trying to cross-train.
Sure.
But Courtney and I are the only two that can process that.
Right, and it's just, I'm just saying
But we do
that,
that quite frequently
Right.
because we have things that come up that, I mean, if Public Works is buying something, we do a special check. If there's bills that come in we didn't know about, we cut a special check. It's not really a big process to add.
when I first started as county council, I'm not advocating for this at all because technology has changed the format and the way that the meetings have changed are dramatic in my opinion. But we used to meet twice a week, and now we're down to one morning a week, and I still think that's the best option. But I think that if Ashley's office and the commissioners can work out a way to look at it administratively, legally, you have to pay your debts. I mean, but outside of that.
I think my more concern is about statutorily what we're required to do. And
Yeah.
so I can get with Ashley's office
Sure.
and walk through the statute so that to help you better understand what's required by law as far as approvals. and
Right, I
payment.
think I'm gonna be crystal clear on this. The approval system that the county's had for decades now is, by law, it's the minimum mandatory. I mean, it's statutorily, it reaches the level of how you guys sign off on the bill. I mean, you're all looking at it, you're all approving it. I mean, the signatures are part of the process. So, I mean, obviously, I believe in transparency. I've been saying it for almost a decade now. So I think this process is good, but, we've got to make sure that Ashley's office is able to handle the change so that she
Correct.
can handle the administrative part.
Yep.
And I'm fine to put it on the agenda. I mean, I have no problem with that.
Right.
My concern is just the timeline of
The approvals.
the headaches of changing when people are getting their checks.
Right, and that would not be, for this year, that would not be a good thing, because you have it calendared out. You basically start in January, you have the payroll, everything's calendared, so I understand that.
The payroll is not a problem. Payroll can be paid and it can be approved afterwards. That's not a problem. That's an exemption to the law. So just let me get with Ashley on the process, and then if you guys would like to start adding, we'll just have like an appropriations line right after the minutes so that you can approve those when you
And
come through.
possibly once you get on the first year and get a different schedule, what we approve on Tuesday, you pay Friday.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
it's not late.
totally agree with Susan. I think we're meeting the statutory limit or the statutory levels of what's been going on with how this is approved. I think putting it on the agenda allows for people to see the
We
process.
don't have it ready on Tuesday, so when you approve it on Tuesday, it's already gonna be a week late.
So here's, for example, this is how we did it at the city, just to give you an idea. We were able to, in our system, get everything ready, processed. The checks are ready to go. Some are ACH, but we were able to push out the ACH to a certain date. And so I don't know if CIC can allow for that. But basically, if we were paying on Friday, it'd be approved on Tuesday. Everything would be released on Tuesday. Vendors, checks and everything, and then Wednesday is when the ACHs would hit the bank. And so that's the process that I need to work through with Ashley to see if it's possible. Because basically you're going ahead and doing the payable, you're just holding the checks until they've been approved. So the other thing is I sent you guys an email, just kind of giving you a recap. This is about the time of year we're really looking at cash flow and making sure we're going to hit our targets. General fund is very, very tight. We knew that when we were doing the budget. We would like to have a little bit more in carryover, and I'm hoping that, departments may not spend all of their funds, and so therefore we'll be okay. There's several journal entries I still need to do where things were coded wrong that needs to go to the sales tax fund. And then I've been working with Eric. His budget is probably the tightest, and so we are actually having to look at every expense to make sure that we're able to meet all the demands of what's going on there. We're going to have to shuffle some money around as far as like equipment repairs. But we're going to watch that every month. We've been meeting and we feel pretty good about it.
That's good that you're watching that, Eric, because, I've seen years, the last day of the year, there's just a few dollars in there. So
Yeah.
it's always tight, so thank you.
And Patty's been really good about making sure everything's reconciled so we can make sure that we have good cash balances to understand where we are. Cash projections in public safety are a little bit scary. I sent this to Bill to review. I haven't heard back from him, but I just wanted you guys to be aware of that right now there's not enough cash in there to spend the amount that was budgeted. And so that's something he'll have to watch to make sure that he doesn't have a cash basis violation. So, any questions?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Shane Walker, CIO.
We've got that tower ordered for the Tomahawk one to switch out.
Okay.
And they're still working on the fiber up there at Hidden Valley. They're running into some problems with that. And we're getting ready to hook up this tower to the Garland water tower to switch that repeater over. So then that'll be the last repeater we have that's on cellular. So that'll go away. And as soon as we get those done, the guys from Topeka will come down here and mount those 2 repeaters. And then we'll be ready to switch EMS over to the digital stuff as soon as we get the radios for their cars. So
What are we doing in the Southwest? Are we good to go down there?
Southwest, we've got stuff down there. We
Okay.
can put stuff on water towers. There's a place out by Bronson where it's kind of sketchy out there by that lake, and we've kind of looked at that. That's probably like on the 2nd or 3rd phase of this, because there is a water tower out there straight south of that lake that we could utilize. And we don't know how that stuff, those wind turbines will affect signals and stuff yet. But that's on the list of stuff to look at.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
On break or public comment? I'm good. All right, public comment section, please.
We might think you're sick if you didn't.
We missed
I
you.
have a couple. One public comment I have, pass it on to the commissioners, that I really appreciate what Public Works did on 95th Street, because that was a massive public safety issue, actually. And they did an awesome job by doing that, so I got to give them kudos. The second one I have, and I noticed in the newspaper down south in Crawford County that when they did a commission meeting, and I know we don't have one on payroll for us, but it belongs to Bourbon County Ready. Could we get a report on, as far as the grants that's been submitted? Because they have one down there that they come to the commission meeting, give an update on all the grants that's been put in for the county and stuff, and grants that are available. And they have a person dedicated to that. So that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Michael?
I'm a week late. I'm here to come to the rescue of the lady that wanted to quote the Constitution to you. As in any 235-year-old document, she needed to realize this is not just it. There are 49 other sets of encyclopedias called the Code of Federal Regulations, the Kansas state statutes, all that govern the United States. A lot's in here, a lot of the basis, and they say that Thomas Jefferson would now say, how could I get by without my iPad, if he had one? But I think the question that she really wanted to ask you was on the jail tax. Where did all the money go? You know, to carve out the engineering, I think she tried to ask why we didn't pay that out of, that's immaterial. For 7 years now, we've collected 0.4 cents. Just using rough math, that's roughly $500,000, $400,000 a year. Where's it gone? The KSA says we can use it on building maintenance, but you all said we've spent money on cars with that money. Where else has it been used? And I feel a little bit, I was not here in 2015. I mean, my family was here, but I was not here involved in the process. But where did we get to where we were having 20-year go bond paybacks or 20-year sales tax assessments? You know, the city had the pool tax and what else we had?
Those are a 10-year.
Yeah, they were all 10-year renewal, and the hard surface road tax were all 10-year renewals. How did this one suddenly become 20? And where was it ever published? It's not in the ballot question that it was a 20-year payback or 20-year assessment. I don't know if that's.
It's in the statute, though. It's in the statute that allows you to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I'd have to dig through all that paperwork.
But don't you think the people should have been told that when they voted on it? That this is not a 10-year revenue stream, this is a 20-year revenue stream?
Michael, I wasn't here when it was voted
But you're
on,
still
so-
responsible for it.
Well, we
I
can't
mean,
be
and we're
responsible.
paying for it, and we're getting it paid.
Okay, but I'm going to quote you. I'm going to quote you with this. You said we live out of our means as we do. We want to pave roads, but we don't want to pay for them. Well, if you create a 20-year revenue stream for yourself and you start living to that, and that money goes away, what are you going to do? We're now exceeding our means of living, right? Just renew it, another 20 years, keep going, call it something else. That's what we did at Buck Run.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you speak and then we'll speak.
Okay.
Because
Well,
what you're
I'm-
saying isn't true, but anyway.
Well, no, then you tell me what I'm lying about.
Well, we've re-voted on the sales tax, did we not? And extended it as a community.
The hard surface roads
Yes.
portion, yes,
So,
that was a 10-year
Don't
tax.
put that in my mouth that I said that we're gonna keep doing it, Michael.
I
You
didn't
can't
say
quote-
what-
you just
I'm
said,
asking you.
I'm quoting you.
What are we going
That is
to
what
do?
you said, I'm quoting you. Now,
Mhm.
that is was that not what he said?
Okay,
Yeah.
let me say it again.
Was it not voted on? Am I mistaken? Did we not vote to extend the hard surface sales tax?
Yep.
The public in Bourbon County voted to extend that?
Yes.
Exactly. So, what are
Okay,
you talking about?
listen for the question mark in my statement. I said, what are we going to do when it expires? Are we just going to renew it and call it something else? That was not a statement that I said you said that. It was a question for you.
Are you referring to the hard surface road?
I'm
tax?
referring to the jail tax.
Well, you just said surface roads.
Okay. Well, if you can't follow along, take notes.
Is he done?
We're not
Is he
going to
done?
tolerate any
I
rudeness
think he's
here this
done.
morning.
I
If
think
you're going
you're
to be
done.
rude, I'll
Have a
cancel this
seat.
meeting right now, Michael.
All right, I'm
Have a
going to
seat.
talk about the jail tax or not the jail
Okay.
tax, the fuel surcharge. When you get,
You have every right to control the floor.
You want to
Okay.
be rude, so.
Okay.
Sit
Public
down.
comment-
I'll sit down.
Public comment section
well,
is over.
can I finish? Let me finish this jail
No.
or the fuel thing.
Public comment section is over. I'm the chairman, I can do that.
You can.
Yes, thank you.
Don't put words in my mouth either.
Okay, Justin Meeks, or I'm sorry, commission comment.
I have one.
Okay.
Kind of goes to this. Yesterday, I was in the public. As an elected official, I believe we should be held to a higher standard of what we say in the public. So, an elected official in one of the townships was talking about we raised taxes. I think people need to understand that first, as an elected official, if you're going to put your name on that ballot, you shouldn't be going around town talking about stuff you don't know what you're talking about. It was a treasurer of all things for a township. Unbelievable. We didn't raise taxes. We stayed revenue neutral. But he's out there spouting that we raised taxes. You know, in the state level and the federal level, they can say whatever they want. And apparently we can too. But I think we shouldn't. I think we should certainly know what we're talking about. And as elected officials, otherwise don't put your name on the ballot if you're not willing to do your research and know what you're talking about. And I'll go to the fact that people can stand at that microphone and say whatever they want. Doesn't mean it's true. People can go on social media and say whatever they want. Half of it's not true. More than half is not true. standing up there, and you can say that, but it's not true, and it irritates me when people say that, because then somebody online is going to see that, and they're going to put it on Facebook as truth. Well, it's not true. It's not true. I actually have the jail bond right here. But anyway, sales tax for hard surface roads was voted on. It was extended by vote by the public in the most democratic way possible. So I'm not sure what anybody would. I don't know where that came from.
You need to go back and listen to it as a question.
And I'm answering it. It was voted on. So I don't know. I mean, if you don't like my answer, I'm sorry, but it was voted on twice and passed. So, but anyway, I think as elected officials, whether you're a township or especially local elected official, you know, and we live in a world where today you can open your mouth and whatever comes out, people take as truth, and it's pathetic. 50, 60 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, people didn't act this way. It's unreal to me that people can say whatever they want and get away with it, and there's no repercussions. So I guess what I'm saying that is, if you're an elected official in Bourbon County, be careful, know what you're talking about, or just keep your mouth closed. Whether you're a township elected official, a commissioner, a city commissioner, treasurer, Ashley, Tiana, whoever, please do your research and know what you're talking about. Because we certainly don't need somebody running around out there telling that we raised taxes when we did not. It's crazy. As a commission, we did not raise taxes. So anyway, I'm done.
Anything, Nelson?
Yeah, basically, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. I'm just brand new here. But I think maybe kind of goes with the payroll, kind of goes with everyone kind of communicating better, because there's kind of a little bit of division even within the courthouse and amongst some of us. And I would like to see everyone work together more, as far as everyone check each other's work, everyone basically keep the one goal in mind, which is, in my opinion, to run this county as efficiently as possible and spend as less money as possible. Everyone keep that in mind and work together to achieve that, and not worry about any personal rivalries that may or may not be involved. That's one. And then another, which is kind of a vague idea, but I kind of get the feeling, and it's the way I was raised, but I get the feeling that even in Bourbon County, there's too much of an idea of the local government or government in general is going to solve our problems, when I don't think that's true. My granddad said government is the problem, not the solution in general. So I'm not saying we're the problem, but I'm saying we're not the answer for everything. The answer is not to tax people more so we can fix stuff. The government is here to protect our rights, and other than that, it should not be totally involved in every aspect of the economy or our lives.
Okay. And to respond there a little bit, Nelson, it's our job as commissioners and other elected officials to ask our citizens, our friends, to come forward and tell us, what services do you want? What service do you expect? Every time we use the word service, it costs money. So we need their help to govern this body, the county commissioners, as well as other elected officials, do their job. But we have to have input what their level of services they'd like to have and they'd like to pay for. As you wasn't here, but Clifton was, we had a meeting at the River Room, or whatever they called it there. Very few people showed up. We wanted input. And again, I'll say it again, we want citizens to come forward and get involved, because if it's not important, you get your road graded once a year or every 5 weeks, that's a difference in service. That's a difference in cost. But we have to know their expectations. So I agree with what you said, but I wish they would come forward and share more what their expectations are, because again, service means dollars. So. Michael, this is commission comment time.
I was just gonna quote what you have to say. Last 4 meetings, there were 374 views, 327 views, 418 views, and 319 views. I think that is probably at 9 o'clock in the morning about the best you could ask for as far as public participation. So they're going back and look at those meetings.
Yeah, they look at them throughout the week.
Yeah, that's, throughout the week they look at them, not the meeting, so yeah, but we don't get any input. But anyway, okay.
Oh, just to piggyback on that,
All right.
the comment section's shut off though, isn't it? Is the comment section shut off on the YouTube videos?
Yeah,
There's no feedback.
there's
Okay.
no comments on.
Gotcha. Well, that'd be interesting. I'd like to scroll through all that.
No, you don't. Yeah, you must have a boring life.
That's why
That'd
we
be
use
ugly.
Facebook, and it's the most counterproductive thing you can do.
Yeah.
Is allow people to say, if they want to say something, they need to come.
Yeah.
And we welcome to come to the meeting in a professional manner. Any other commission comment? I don't have it. Moving right on to Justin Meeks.
I have a sidebar with Commissioner Bennett real quick.
Yes.
Just to ask who he might
Take a
want-
5-minute break here.
who he wants to
Okay,
take.
take a 5-minute
Yep.
break. All right.
That's less than 3% of your population.
Can you imagine what it would be if everybody showed up?
But those aren't real numbers, though. People watch it 2
Well,
or 3
they-
times. It's hard to gauge.
That's all you can use, that's all you got.
I'm with you on your comment, because I look, when Governor Brownback, when he robbed the highway fund, in my opinion, they're robbing the jail to do, that was
All he
originally
did was grab onto what I said about the hard surface roads and didn't want to hear any more
about the jail.
about the jail, so.
And you're right, and you're absolutely right. It's the, but the thing is, they can't hide it forever. I will say this, do you realize the last public forum, did you realize what happened right at the public forum? And I made a comment. I made a comment that 3 years in a row I sit here and listen to the auditors that audit the county, that they couldn't find $200,000 3 years in a row. But they said it was here somewhere. And 2 days afterward, guess what happened? They have a $4 going on. I mean, that was directly after.
Did that board have anything to say before Andrew, did they just go into it?
Now, they went to executive session for personnel. So it's hard to say. But my whole point is I made that comment, all of a sudden they're investigating, giving back money to go $50,000. I don't know what that's about. I'm gonna guess that because I made a public comment about it, all of a sudden they got excited. I think they should have done that 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? There's lots of things in this county that makes you uncomfortable. Well,
And those comments are saying people get on Facebook, that.
so what?
It's what it is.
You have to have a thick skin. My brother came to me, now he's a big Republican, he's a medical doctor. He's retired, and he finally come to the conclusion to come to talk to me. And we've been at odds, he wouldn't, not me, it's him. And he finally come to me over Labor Day, he says, Clint, he said, Dad was absolutely right. He said, all politicians are crooks. And I said, well, remember what your grandma said. And that was Arthur Walker. And Arthur, here's a guy that never drove a car all his life or a tractor or anything. And he pulled up by your bootstrap. And he says, and he said the same thing, they were all questions. He said, the little guy normally doesn't really go under the grass. That's all he said.
Well, Nelson's father must have been Ronald Reagan, because that's what he said. The problem is.
You know what I will say to that? Because they're farmers. If you don't believe in God, then don't accept them subsidies for this. I'm gonna tell you my brother, my dad paid for 265 acres. And he used the government program to put terrorists into it. If you don't believe in that, don't take it. But during COVID, they got massive. If you go over a farmer, if you don't agree with that, why are you taking the money out? got told, if you didn't want it, send it back to the government. Did you see the big article in Kansas City Star about Social Security and these people being denied? It was a massive article. Basically, they pay this firm, and it's what, $185 to do a evaluation of the subject. And basically, they have a boilerplate thing come out and deny it. Guy had lost these bridges, he had this disease. He claimed that he could open the doorknob went downside. The other time, he told the principal, he said he could let his shirt so he was okay. He wore a t-shirt that day. And the point is that anything is denied.
They've got stories of denying people lost both legs.
Well, here's the neat stuff about it. They paid $185 to the company.
Well, I visited your sister. Well, I'm pretty-
Do what?
I visited with your sister, Briggs, this morning.
Oh, really?
Interesting conversation. Ride that thing.
Good shot, good shot, good shot.
Yeah,
good
I
shot.
hope it was. Did you move my chair? No, I'm joking. Okay, we're back in session. So.
Commissioners, I asked for an executive session for attorney-client privilege contracts. I'll need the 3 commissioners and myself.
Okay.
Sorry, I wanted to talk about something real quick
Oh,
before Lindsay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So sorry.
Real quick, we were talking about the vacating roads the other day, and okay, where are we at on?
I need to ask you guys, because I need to put it in the paper,
Okay.
but when that meeting would come up, it would be during the election. And since I have to publish it in the paper when and where the meeting is, I didn't know if you had any plans for
So-
meetings. Because I usually use this room for early voting, which will start on the 26th of October.
So to vacate the road, every road that's vacated has to be published in the paper? Is that, okay.
20 days prior to the hearing.
So I guess what we would want to do is accumulate a bunch of roads that we want to vacate and then put them all in the paper at the same time, or?
I have to put them each in there separately.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But I need to know when and where you're wanting to have meetings during election time when we're using this room, so that I can publish that. I know last time you did it in the city.
Is there any reason we can't start doing early voting back here in the lobby again, like we used to?
I mean, the reason we didn't is because the handicap entrance is right here, and it
Mhm.
makes it easier for people to get in and out.
Because it's like a huge disruption in here now, especially to move all this stuff.
Yeah.
We don't move any of this.
Oh, you guys didn't move this
No,
table last
we
time?
use this table. We can't move this table.
Because you guys can't
It's a
have
full
meetings,
crowd.
which that can cause problems.
Well, I don't care as a commissioner. We can have meetings other places, so.
I mean, we could do
This
meetings
is
in the
fine.
lobby or
Yeah,
whatever.
we can have
if you
meeting
did
in the
an
lobby,
evening-
so.
If you did an evening meeting, I mean, we have, I guess, the voting booth set up, but we can put the chairs in front of them. I mean, all of our stuff goes back in there at night.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, I have to publish it in paper, so I have to publish where the meeting will be and what time.
Well, we can do it after
Yeah.
the election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any reason, I mean, there's no
Like a
reason we
week
have
after
to do
No,
it
I mean,
right now.
that's-
Just do it a week after elections.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I'll
fine.
do that.
Okay.
All right, Justin, we're ready. Okay.
Okay, make a motion to go into executive session, KSA 754319B2 for consultation with an attorney for the public body or agency which would be deemed privileged. In the attorney-client relationship, the 3 commissioners, County Councilor Meeks. 10 minutes, Justin?
I think 15 probably.
15 minutes, it'll be for 15 minutes. We're gonna go from this room to Susan's office, and we'll meet back in this room at 10:36.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion to resume normal session in this room at 10:36, no action.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any other business, gentlemen?
She's got some gas prices or something.
Okay.
Yes, so the courthouse in January, it was $671, the last bill was $693. What he quoted was $744 for 12-month or $696 for 24-month. He did also say that that was, pricing is also based on 50% of the annual volume for the fixed price. And for the hospital, in January, it was $659. It is now $950. The lock-in rates are $853 for 6 months, $707 for a year, or $651 for 2 years.
And what was the 2 years for this building?
Is that
Right,
it?
690,
696.
okay.
I personally am not willing to lock it in for 2 years.
Okay.
Anybody interested in 12 months, or you just want to see what the price
What's
is?
it at now? What's the price now again?
At the hospital, it is $9.50. For the courthouse and jail, it's $6.93.
And that's paid out, or, like, how long is that? Have we been paying that price?
Well, in January, for the courthouse and jail, it was $671, so I mean, it's fluctuated in
Okay.
between there. The hospitals went from $659 in like December, January to $950 now.
What an increase.
And actually, the hospital is the one he reached out to me about to see if we wanted to lock in. That's the one he was kind of concerned about. He didn't ask about the courthouse and
No.
the jail, but,
We, if we're gonna,
I mean, we don't have to, he's just.
yeah, I'm just saying, if we wanna, there's some proprietary information that we'd probably need to talk about with the hospital specifically, and some legal stuff too, contractual things that, if we can go in to vet that if you want, but I would say that we should at this point lock in any long-term contracts with that facility.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, just quickly, natural gas futures are falling, so which means natural gas will be cheaper in the future. And there's a massive storage increase due to the hurricane. So, November futures are down to 6.76. They fell 10.8 cents on day to day. December fell 7.7 to 7. So right now, the December price is $7.06.50. Interestingly enough, the national average is 4.53. So 7.44 probably isn't bad on the 12-month contract for here, truthfully. But we'll have to do a lot more research. But, according to expected to trade at 7.24 by the end of this quarter, and consumption is expected to fall. The government is thinking natural gas consumption will fall this year and through 2023, which means price should come down. But again, if we have a bad winter, that all changes. So you can
There's a guy-
predict the weather.
If we can hold off for one more week, I have a couple of people that my dad knows that I can call, see what their opinion is.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
if you
fine.
don't
We
wanna
can
lock
wait
in
for a
now,
week.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, in a month or so, you could ask,
Alright.
about locking in again. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
if you don't do it now, it doesn't mean you can't do it in another month or so. if you
Yeah, we'll
decide to.
check it out next week.
Okay.
Table it, bring it up next week. Sounds good to me.
Okay. Here, motion to adjourn.
Second?
I make a motion, oh, yes, sir. I make a motion to adjourn, or did you make it?
No, I didn't
I
make
make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Any discussion?
Wait.
I rescind my motion to adjourn.
Instead of holding this out to the next commission meeting, we just received an email that we need to go into executive session about. It is dealing with personnel matters, non-elected. It also is dealing with job description. So we need to go probably unelected, identifiable, job description, job performance for 7 minutes with the 3 commissioners, myself and Susan.
Okay.
So you just need to amend your agenda first.
I make a motion to amend the agenda to add a KSA 754319B1 executive session to the end here.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to go into executive session, KSA 75-4319B1, to discuss personal matters of individual non-elected personnel to protect their privacy, be related to job description and performance, be for 7 minutes. We'll return here at 10:49. This
Second.
room, leave this room, come back to this room.
Any discussion?
Includes, sorry, 3 commissioners, County Councilor Meeks and Susan Bancroft.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
new guy. Make a motion to resume normal session, no action.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Is that it?
Do we want to change the liaison for that department or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
They can go talk to who they need to talk to about that issue.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he can do that anyway, so.
Well, yeah, it just helps that he has the full authority of the commission.
Oh, I got you. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Justin, we need a motion to do that, just do it.
I would, just to cover, sorry, I should have
Okay.
said. Just to cover your basis and make transparency, I'd make the motion to change that liaison for that person. If, you get the votes.
Yeah.
I make a motion to allow Nelson, Commissioner of District, are you first?
One. Yep.
First District Commissioner Nelson Blythe to be the liaison with the Bourbon County Sheriff's Office.
I second that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.